In this Positrak Pro tutorial, we're going to look at warehouse returns. This is a section of the software where you can create returns to submit to your vendors. So from the main menu, click on Inventory, and then we'll go down to Warehouse Returns on the bottom left. And this screen sort of looks like the purchase order menu, but this is a place where you can create and edit returns. So let's go to Create Return. And from the type drop-down list, there's a few different types of returns: cores, defects, stock adjustment, 30-day overstock, new return, line adjustment, and overstock adjustment. And each of these have a little explanation. If you click on that, you'll see a label here with an explanation of what each one does. And we're going to run through several of them here. We'll start with core return. This will select cores that have been invoiced at point of sale within the selected date range. Now it will start with the previous week, but you can definitely change it to go back further if you need to. It will also let you tie this return to a supplier. So you can select a vendor from your supplier list and then just get report, and it will populate with the cores that have been sold within this date range. You can also add to this return manually. I'll just add a part number to the return. You can also manually edit the quantity if need be. But you can create, and you'll see in your list of working returns over here on the left. Like I said, similar to the purchase order system, you'll have your outstanding returns over here. Let's create another one and just look at a couple of other return types. The defect return works in the same way as the core return. It works based on the parts that have been invoiced or defected at point of sale within that date range. You can modify the date range if needed. Stock adjustment works like this. You can basically you can go through your inventory, and let's say you've applied a local class to a bunch of part numbers that you want to clean up. So maybe over time you've put in an X in local class, and you want to pull those numbers up and create a return for those numbers. You can do that. Just put in an X, get report, and it'll pull up all those numbers with that matching local class or whatever condition that you've put in. You can also manually add to that here and manually edit the quantity and create. Let's look at a couple more return types. The 30-day overstock return is very specific. It does default to 30 days, but you can also go back and you can change the date range with this return as well. But the purpose of this one is to catch special order parts that were never picked up. So there's several qualifications. First of all, it had to have been received on a PO. It has to be a non-stocking number that has never been sold. And so, like I said, the purpose is just to catch maybe those special order parts that somebody ordered, but the customer never came to pick them up. There's a couple of other ones. There's a new return, and this is where you can manually create or even scan in a list of parts, new stuff to go back to the warehouse. There's a line adjustment and also an overstock adjustment. So I'm going to close this, and we've got two returns here. We've got a core return and a stock adjustment. So let's talk about posting. When you post a core or a defect return, it does not actually deduct anything from inventory. The inventory has already been handled on the sale itself. So all it's doing when you post a core or defect return is marking them as returned to the warehouse so that they don't come up on a future return. So if you post those, you click on your order, post return. Are you sure? Yes. And it's posted. And you'll see it clear out of your list over here. You can also, prior to posting, you can also print, if you need a copy of it to stick in the tote, you can also email it to the vendor. And some vendors also support transmitting electronically. So if your vendor does do that, you can click on the return, transmit return to vendor, yes, okay. And it'll tell you if that vendor is not set up. It'll warn you the supplier doesn't support transmitting electronic returns. But if they do, that'll be set up, and you can submit those electronically to the vendor. I'll post this one as well because on stock adjustment and other returns, there's a final question. If you go to post, are you sure? Yes. There's a prompt to, do you want to set numbers as non-stocking and remove order points or min-max? So if you're returning these items to the vendor, you can, this last step, remove the order points so that it doesn't try to order them again and set them as non-stocking. You can answer yes there if you want to do that. And that's it.